Right then, this is a quick walk around video for a lovely car. This is a rare one as well. It's a 1.8 EX GT, top of the range Civic. Car's covered just 34,700 miles from new. Really lovely low mileage car, rare indeed. Finished in silver, black leather interior, very nice car. Go to the front, lights and lenses, clear, intact. So cracks, condensation there. Bonnet, very clean. The stone chips, very light indeed. Near side, lovely and smooth down the panels. Generally good. It's closest to the curb, so it's naturally going to pick up a few little light marks. Near side rear, very nice. And the back. The off side of the car, driver's side. Again, very crisp and smooth in the panel work. And on this side, further away from the curbs, generally better, and they are. But for a car that's now 12, 13 years old, it's in very nice condition. Coming to the back, absolutely cavernous boot in the car. It's been kept very nicely, just the odd bit of wear and tear which you're naturally going to get with age, but a massive boot area. This lovely, this one that's been fitted with the space saver spare wheel rather than the inflation kit as well. Coming to the back, again, full black leather interior, again in very nice condition. Come to the front and the passenger side, full set of original Honda mats. Passenger seat again in very good condition for the age. Finally come to the driver's side door card, nice and clean. So the footwell areas and driver's seat for a car that's aged in fantastic condition. So inside the car now, engine's running as always, so the dash is illuminated. It looks in lovely condition. Sat nav, as you can see, working exactly as it should. Pop the car to reverse, got that lovely clear parking camera, and that complements the front and rear parking sensors on the car. Going on down, it's been kept really nicely. And that is the view you get as a driver of a Honda Civic. It's the best dash by a mile in this class, in my most humble of opinions. Sorry, in the cough. Engine running, no warning lights on. Just going to pan up to there. 34,727 miles only. A very nice car, this one. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 EX GT. The car is registered MK62NCD, and mileage at the start of the road test is just 34,727. The reason we do these videos, and as I always say, especially this bit, the road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's looking at any of the cars we're selling, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is purely because, like many people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in a photograph or a description, but only to get there and find out when you drive it, it's got an obvious fault that shows up when you drive the car. We also do the road test, the video on the same roads that we do our road tests on for test drives for customers, and the hope is, of course, it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself, you know, should you go on a drive in the car. So coming to the car, it's a low mileage car. You'd hope and expect it to drive well, especially being a Honda, and it does. It doesn't disappoint in any way at all. Push button start, it's top of the range car, so it gets the keyless start and keyless entry. Press a button, engine whirs into life, settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all, relating to the engine or any other part of the car actually. Temperature gauge running as a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car, by the way. I've said it a gazillion times, but Honda, in my humble opinion, make the best four-cylinder engines in the world, in the real world of motoring, so just daily use. You know, it is the most reliable, longest lasting engine in its class, by common consent. It's also got a timing chain, so there's no timing belt to have to worry about. Big service looming on the car. But more than that, actually, it's just actually how it drives. The engine is sweet, it's tractable, it's quiet, but when you put your foot down, it picks up, but you're met with that lovely very muted kind of intake snarl, but you've got something with the mechanical sophistication to the engine, which I absolutely love. Honda don't put loads of sound deadening under the bonnet and engine bays, because that's normally just poor engineering. They're just trying to muffle the sound of a coarse engine. This doesn't need it. It's very, very smooth. It's got a small amount of sound deadening, of course, but no big trays covering over the engine bay there. Engine feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, absolutely perfect. Bite point exactly where it's meant to be. It's nice and smooth in operation. And then you come on to another one of Honda's fantastic gearboxes, 6-speed manual gearbox. As is the norm these days, pretty much most front-wheel drive cars, the gear changes are actually joined to the gearbox, the gear lever to the gearbox by cables. Unfortunately, that means that some manufacturers end up giving you a gear change which can feel completely artificial, devoid of any feel, just vague. I don't know why they do it. This feels meaty, it feels mechanical. You can feel the gears engage. It's got just a lovely feel, but it's short in throw, it's snappy, it's just so precise. It's beautifully, beautifully done. A gearbox you thoroughly enjoy using rather than just having to use it. And that feels exactly as it would have done when it was new. There's just zero wear in it. Coming onto the steering and chassis, steering track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed, or any speed actually up to the legal limit. It's one of the parts of the car I love most, this setup, because it's a very rare thing to be able to achieve, and Honda have achieved it with this car. Because if you want to buy this car or any Honda Civic just to get you and your family from A to B comfortably, it does a brilliant job. It's very comfortable, composed, so it will satisfy anyone in that regard. But for the people like me who still enjoy their driving and want something that they can enjoy driving, they can engage with, it's got that in spades. The steering is beautifully weighted, it's precise, it's accurate, but it works beautifully with the chassis, because the car's got a lovely front end on it. It's keen to change direction, and the suspension setup allows you to do that. But normally you end up with a rigid, hard, uncomfortable ride, and yet you don't with this. And for the other cars that manage to give this kind of ride, they end up floating around all over the place. It's a wonderful setup. Only a couple of other manufacturers, in my opinion, can come close to it in terms of day-to-day use, but also enjoyment of driving. Worth pointing out, there's absolutely no clonks or rattles coming from underneath the car. It's all as tight as a drum. Just give the brakes a little bit of a shove. I know they're good, but I'll just do it anyway. Make sure no one's behind me. But an excellent, powerful brake pedal. No pulsing or vibration coming back through the pedal at all when the brakes are applied. Worth pointing out, by the way, that once I finish doing this video, hopefully over the next day or two, it'll be heading off for an MOT, which is done completely independently of us. We've got no input into it whatsoever, as we shouldn't, in all honesty. And then finally coming inside the car, what a video can never get across, first and foremost, is just how well built a car is. No squeaks, no rattles. It's 13 years old. I know it's low mileage, but this is par for the course for the Civics. They are beautifully bolted together cars. It's also a car, great seating position, lovely seats, very supportive and comfortable over long trips. But you've also got this amazing dash design in front, which I've always maintained is the best in class, because I know it polarizes opinions. Some people will like it, some people won't, but I think that's a good sign of design, that does actually, people have an opinion on it. Because most dash designs, let's be fair, are just templates. They're just a binnacle there, center stack there, and that's it. They're just variations on exactly the same theme. The most conventional part is the center stack in the Civic. It works well. You've got a really nice sat-nav system, very easy to use. Down below that, climate control system, which allows you to have different temperatures on either side if you want to. And that pumps out lovely cold air, by the way. Checked in a nice warm workshop earlier on. And down below that, again, we've got heated seats for the car. Again, checked and working exactly as they should. All of the switchgear has got that, that high quality feel to all of the switches. Where you press the button, it just feels substantial and nicely manufactured, and because they are, that's why it feels like it. But my favourite part has always been this two-tier design directly in front of me. So you've got upper and lower deck. The upper deck is the stuff you want to look at most commonly on the move. So Honda put it high up so you can see it clearly as you're driving along. We've got an information pod there rather, but the one that everyone should be looking at, of course, is your speed, all by itself, white on black digital display. I can look at the road ahead without taking my eyes off the road at all and see my speed. It is simply genius. Down below that, conventional pod of dials, rev counter in the middle, flanked either side by temperature and fuel gauges, and then you've got this lovely chunky leather bound steering wheel to finish it off. You know, as I said at the start of the video, it's just to show the car operating. Feedback on any issues, of which is nothing at all. Drives absolutely beautifully.